I slept like a baby up here. How about you?
So good.
So good. What up, homies? So I was asked to do a longer video about the new setup in the Jeep, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm not sure anyone was super interested in the entire setup, but mostly about this platform. So I'll show you that. I'll give you full measurements. No gatekeeping around here. So maybe I should start off with first explaining how this works. So we've got the base. I did remove the part that was down here with all the little hoops. It gives me about 3/4 of an inch, and it's just on the sheet metal of the Jeep. So I did cut out a hole there so that we do not lose access to the cubby. And here I have some tools, jump starter cables, tools, and this is a patch kit, tire patch kit. And so we've got a base floor that goes all the way to the depth over there. I'll measure that later. And it's a full sealed box. Again, it goes to almost the edge, leaving only enough space for the sliding top, all 3/4 inch wood. And on top I have this sliding part of the platform that has two legs that on each, one leg on each side obviously, that slide into here, which is why I left enough of a gap right there. And then this piece is slightly bigger, as you can see there, so that the legs fit, and this will all slide forward and create a bed. The top of this is going to be a little bit shorter than the bottom, and that is because the seats lean back, right? So it's going to be more of a triangle, not a straight down. So for the measurements, across we have exactly 39 inches by 28 inches, and on the bottom it's 27.5 inches to these bits. And obviously we still have all of this extra space, another 3.5 inches. Now remember, this does have to be tapered, so I have to sand all that down. The total height from bottom to top is going to be almost 11.5 inches. Now obviously you can change that as much as you want. I went with that size because of my fridge. The issue I have there is that I did drill some holes so that I can attach it directly onto the Jeep. And unfortunately, because of how tight it is, and this is basically the drawer sliding on there, it actually, I cannot tie it down. So when I take it all the way out, it does have some leverage issues there that I have to address. Haven't decided how yet. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. Those are the slides right there, 28 inches. They do actually stick out a little bit, but I don't mind that at all. You could probably go with the ones that have a safety mechanism that you unlatch. They're a little bit more expensive, and this is a budget build, but if I could go back, I'd probably get the ones that are a little bit more expensive, just because this moves around a lot. Now what I think I'm going to do is drill a hole here, put a safety mechanism there so it stays in place. It's not a big deal though. It doesn't bother me very much. The dimensions for the top piece will be 40 3/4. For the extra flap here, we're looking at 8.5 inches by, again, same width. And now the idea here is that with the seats up, I drive around with this, no problem. I could probably shave a little bit down here. As you can see, it is hitting the metal. It's not a big deal at the moment, but I would like it to not rub at all. The legs are uneven, right there. The seats do not fold down perfectly. And what's crazier is that one seat, the 40% piece, is just slightly lower than this other one. So even the legs are a different height. And now to get that height, basically what I did is I ran a pole across here at the height that I wanted everything, and then put a piece of cardboard down and traced the shape of this for each leg. And so the legs are not symmetrical, but that's okay. They don't need to be. And again, I did that after adding these plastic pads. These are meant to protect the fabric here. So anyway, here, let me show you. Once I pull it out, on this side I have added an extra piece of wood that goes in pretty deep. It's just for that extra strength, you know. And then here, the legs stick out about about 1.5 inches. And that is so that when I pull this out, it can rest on those. Just like that. The seats are all the way forward, but if I'm driving, the seat's back hits this. Now this is this will keep it pretty stable. When you're off-roading, not so much. It's going to be jumping up and down. So what I want to do next is take a ratchet strap or something and secure it for when I'm driving off-road. But if you're just, you know, cruising around the street, if you're traveling, this will be perfectly stable. And again, once you're ready to sleep, you can move the seats forward, and then voila, it just unfolds. And for a while I was trying to figure out the best sleeping arrangement. This is pretty flat. It's not perfect, obviously, nothing is, but it gives you plenty of room. Let me get you an exact measurement. With it completely open, you get approximately 65 inches. So that's 5'5". That's about 4 inches shorter than me. Again, not ideal. However, I learned that if you sleep with your feet on this side and your head on that side, your head's gonna dangle, right? You don't want that. But if you flip it around, if you sleep with your head on this side, it's much more comfortable. But on camera, I will still show you how I get on. Usually I try to go in butt first. Shoes go off, stay here, plenty of room. And then, again, my head pillow will be here, plenty of room. My feet are off a little bit. If I were to put my head where it would normally be with the door closed, be about there. And my feet are just a little too long. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. No big deal though. Put the Crocs back on and just hop out. And then when I want to put it away, just lift this part, slide it over, make sure it lines up. Come on this side. That's it. Perfect. I will put the link to my gear in the comments below. But yeah, so I'm using this fridge. I really like it. It opens this way, or if you choose to, you can switch the doors to the other side, which I really like that feature. Not sure why, but it's my favorite part about the fridge. But yeah, so far I've only used it one time. It's really nice. It's a good replacement for my old one. I gave my old one to another homie who likes to off-road as well. I am using the 720 watt EcoFlow. Had this for a while, no complaints with it. Using this tiny little stove, I really like this thing. So it uses the isobutane, connects here on the side. It's the coolest little stove. Just like that. Easy to put away. Doesn't take up a whole lot of room. I do have 2 of the fire maple stoves. I really like those. It's a way better replacement for Jetboil. A fraction of the price. I'm missing a whole lot of things that I don't carry around unless I'm gonna go on an adventure here. But one of the fun things I've figured out is metal plates for camping are kind of expensive, but if you just get cake pans from Walmart, these are $3 a pop. Blue carbon steel pan, really love this thing, keeps the heat and not as heavy as cast iron. I'm using this thing from my toolbox to keep my my cutlery in here. Works really well. Anyway, like I said, I'm not carrying everything that I normally would. For the wiring, I'm going straight from the Jeep to this 3-way splitter that has buttons to power things on and off. And so I power the accessory lights out here for when I'm camping, just for fun. I power the EcoFlow so I can trickle charge when I'm driving. And then I power this water pump. I want to switch it up a bit, so I want to run everything to the EcoFlow and the EcoFlow to the car battery. That way I'm not messing with my car's power when I'm not driving. Someone asked about the pump. So the pump's wiring goes from here, goes through the inside of the plastic all the way around, comes out through here, goes into this guy, goes through the door, and there is a pump attached right here. Now the pump pulls or pushes the water out to my handheld thing, but it also pulls water from this line, which goes through here, comes out over there, and it goes to a Rotopax 2-gallon tank. This is not mounted. I have not figured out a way of mounting this thing because I want it over there. Some of the mounts I've seen go here. It takes away too much room from me. I just need it to be up against the window and on a budget. Another person asked how I was getting it to pull water from here. I took a piece of plastic, just random piece of plastic with a gasket, and drilled a hole in it. And then this is a septa tube. Now I'm a scientist, and this is something we find in the lab. It's where you normally stick a syringe into a tube. But I would say any piece of rubber would work. So I just cut it out and put it in through there. And I cut it with a little bit of extra space. See that? Because when water's being pulled out, air needs to go in there to displace that the space. Otherwise, you're creating a vacuum and probably going to damage this tank. So it worked out pretty well. I don't have any great ways to make it pretty. Like, I don't have a valve to let air in, anything like that. So I figured the septa tube would be the best. One of the things with the JL, it has this extra space that just goes to waste. And I found these guys on Amazon. They're just 2 baskets, basically 2 plastic containers, where it's just another little crevice that now I can put stuff in. So this is a hammock, got a chair here. My pillow's not normally up here. I just threw it up here to get it out of the way for the video. And again, one on this side. And then these bags are extra space. I'll put the link for all of these things on in this video, just so you can get them if you're interested. This thing was like $10 to hold my fire extinguisher. It's trash. I wouldn't get this. It just tore apart as soon as I put a little bit of pressure. But you know, I've yet to replace it. This is just a carrier for my Nalgene bottle, but because I'm always using bungees for extra safety, I do carry them in here. Just zip it up. Again, everything here is on a budget. Again, these bags, there's 2 of them, 1 on each side. Here I carry a bunch of extra spare tools, zip ties, anything that I might need in a pinch. The one on that side, any extra wires that I could potentially need for something, my solar panels, my an extra EcoFlow charger, all of that stuff. I carry a simple first aid kit. I probably need to go through it and make sure everything's up to date. These things right here, it's like a metal molly thing. I don't know what you call it. I also got these on Amazon. I'll put the link for those. Haven't really found any great use for it, but I just put stuff there. My radios, GMRS, I have the link for those. Collapsible bucket. You always just need a bucket. You never know for what. This is like a $6 moving blanket that I got from Harbor Freight. Greatest store on the planet. Just sort of keep it on there to protect the wood. The wood is sealed, but a little extra protection from scratches never hurt anyone. Closest. I'll get these out of the way. Done.